Hello everyone and welcome again to today's live session. I am Parth Patel, a registered migration agent at Ozus Group Boston branch, and I'm also very glad to be here. I'm very glad to be here conducting live Q&A session. Until we get some good number of attendees, I'll start with sharing some important updates in immigration and covering some changes, announcements, and trends that could probably impact you or your friends or relatives. There has been quite a bit going on recently due to close to end of financial year, and I would like to help make sense all of it for all of you. Just before we do that, we'll wait for some time, and during that, I would like to make one announcement. That is, we have a OSIV conclave happening on 12th of July. I'll just quickly share my screen so you can have some better idea. Yeah. So we have a OSIS Migration and Education Conclave 2025 event happening on 12th of July at 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. in different cities, mainly 5 cities: Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, Adelaide, and Perth. Don't miss out this Australian Migration and Education Conclave 5.0 by OSIS Group. That is your ultimate opportunity to get expert insights into studying, working, and settling in Australia, where you will also get opportunity to meet 45 plus registered migration agents, 70 plus top education specialists in person across various cities, and get personalized advice on various visas and pathways, in-demand and also in-demand career options. You will be able to stay ahead with the latest immigration updates, explore best universities and courses, and also receive expert coaching guidance related to PT, IELTS, and CCL just under one roof. Whether you are a student, graduate, or a skilled professional, this free and one-day event offer everything you need to build a successful future in Australia. Seats are limited, so kindly register now. The links for registration will be provided in the chat in the comment section. Just again reminding, the date for the event is on 12th of July, happening in multiple cities such as which is Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, Adelaide, and Perth. For Melbourne, it's happening at Marriott Hotel in the city. Sydney, it's happening at Novotel Sydney Hotel. Brisbane, it's happening at Carstons Brisbane. Adelaide, it's in UCT 43 Franklin Street, and Perth, it's again at Novotel Perth Hotel. In the links, you will find information about the topics, about the location, and about who will be presenting those sessions. You can also visit our website, osisgroup.com, where you will also be able to get further information about the event. Just to give you some more idea, basically it will be starting at 9 and will be finishing at 6 p.m. We will be covering a lot of topics as such. So you don't have to probably attend all the sessions. If you would like to, if you are interested in the topics, you can attend accordingly. But then whatever the most appropriate sessions, you can just have a look and then you can click that and then you can register for the event as such. That was just a quick about the session. Again, jumping back to our session. Just a second, I think there's some issue. Okay. Yeah. So that was about the quick updates. Sorry, about the event. About the updates, as it is close to end of financial year, most of the state governments have tried utilizing the quota allocation given to the state governments. Very few state governments have recently conducted invitation rounds as well, such as New South Wales state government, Western Australian state government, Australian Capital Territory, Tasmanian state government have been conducting invitation rounds. and they have been inviting people as such. So otherwise, for Victoria, for Northern Territory, pretty much they have utilized the quota. So they have not been inviting people as such. Most likely the invitation process, the pre-invitation process is closed for most of the states. It is just that the if applicants who are invited to apply for state nomination, those applications are still under process. So they will still probably receive invitations anytime soon in next probably 2-3 weeks of time until end of financial year, and they will be given 2 months of time to apply for the visa. If you are invited to apply for the visa, we strongly recommend you to apply before 1st of July. That's mainly because generally in the new financial year, the visa fee increases depending on the CPI index, which can range from 3% to probably 5%, 10%, 15% for some visas. Recently, the government have increased the visa fees to even probably double or more than double, like for student visas, they increased last year. So we strongly recommend you to apply for visa before 1st of July. So you may save some bucks to apply for the visa. Also, generally speaking, if you're already invited, any new changes does not apply to you. So that is not a concern as such, but mainly it's about the fees. Also, if you are looking at applying for employer sponsored visas, there is a possibility that there might be some changes in the regulations. So it is better that you apply for the visa if you're already eligible. If you also met the requirements for the advertisement labor market testing, then you should pursue and apply with this employer sponsored visa. About the changes, fees could be one of the change. The government have not yet announced what will be the fees they are going to implement from 1st of July, but hopefully anytime soon they will be publishing, because usually they publish at the end of current financial year. So somewhere around now until 30th of June, they can announce at any point of time. Other than that, for the state allocation, state governments have updated on the immigration website their allocation and whatever number of seats they've already exhausted. However, that allocation is not most up to date, because since last 2 months, I mean, since end of April, the government have not yet updated their website with updated quota allocation. Whatever seats they have used. So we don't know exactly how many seats have been already exhausted, but then generally speaking, if you're not invited so far, basically consider you will not be invited in this financial year. Basically, if you have not been invited for the pre-invite, then you will not be invited for final invite as well. But if you have been already invited to apply for state nomination, yes, your application will be considered, and they will try to finalize your application as soon as possible. If your application is not finalized in this financial year, then the state government may still consider your application in the new financial year, or they may advise that we will close your application. That means they will not invite you further. That will be totally state's decision, whether they would like to continue your application in the new financial year, or whether they would like to um, recommend or advise you that you should withdraw the application, or they probably reject the application saying that you'll have to reapply in the new financial year as per the new requirements. That usually happens when the state government would like to make any changes in the new financial year. They may say that we are going to refuse your visa because we don't have any allocation left for this year. So that could be the possibility. I think we got some questions, so quickly we'll jump to the question. I got a question from Kamal. Any chances for 190 and 189 ECT? So for 189, invitation rounds are not guaranteed when they will conduct. Also, what occupations they will invite, how many invites they'll be sending. So no data as such. And as of now, it also looks like that most likely the immigration department will not conduct any invitation round for 189, probably until new financial year. So you'll have to wait for that. The government was also mentioning earlier that probably from 2026 financial year, they will be advising or implementing new point system. There is no idea or there is no information about that as of now. So there is a possibility that they may not even implement. But again, we don't have any idea on that. As per the current invitation round requirements, or if you ask me about any update on invitation rounds, last round happened in November. Usually the government have conducted rounds every at least 6 monthly basis, but it's been more than 6 months, but they have not conducted invitation round. And now looking at the program, it doesn't look like that the government will be conducting any invitation round for now. Also, there were some posts about the allocation for new financial year for 189 visas and 190 and 491. So as per that posts, it was stated that the government will be giving much more lesser places for 189. However, that is not like official post, so we cannot rely on that. So basically, we'll have to wait for the new financial year, and then only we have a better idea on that. Akshay Patel is asking, any chance to get 189 for chemist having 90 points, living in Victoria, no job? Thanks. Also, is there any time frame for student visa refusal case in ART, like when my case will open due to GT reason? Case lodged in August 2024. So basically, for 189, again, as I was saying, invitation rounds, when it will happen, we don't know. It is also not known what kind of occupations will be given priority, because since last few years, the government has been inviting people under some specific occupations. So if that happens, then we have seen chemistry is not given a priority. So chemist occupation is not given a priority. So there is a possibility that they may, in case if they keep doing the same process, then you may not be invited. However, if they invite all the occupations, including chemist, then 90 points are good point score to be invited. We have seen in the last financial year that some of the invitation rounds, the department invited people under specific occupations, and there were some invitation rounds where the government have invited all the occupations. So November round was a round where they have invited all the occupations, where I think chemists were invited with 90 points. So you have a good possibility that way. It's just that we don't know the numbers, exact numbers, how many people they will be inviting in 189 program. So can't comment much on that. Also, in case if they also implement new point system, so that could be another thing you will have to look at. About your ART application, usually ART applications are taking more than 1 year of time for most of the cases, unless the application was refused based on the objective criteria. So generally, ART look at applications in terms whether it is refused based on subjective criteria or objective criteria. Objective criteria are criteria which are kind of black and white criteria. You either meet the criteria or you don't meet the criteria. So if your application was refused, saying for an example, you did not undergo medical examination within the time frame provided by the department, for example, 28 days, and that's where department refused your visa. If you when you go to ART, they will be like, you just do medicals and we are happy to reconsider your application. So such kind of applications could get prioritized and could be finalized sooner. Applications which are subjective in nature, I mean, refused on the subjective criteria. For example, in your case, your application is refused based on the GTE criteria or GST criteria, that I don't feel you are a genuine student. Such cases are all case assessed on a case by case basis. So it's all subjective, on a subjective basis. So such applications usually take more than 1 year of time. So it was refused in August. So consider, anyway, it's like close to August now, just 2 months left. But then most likely such applications are taking more than 1 year. Usually it's like close to 1.5 year of time they are taking to process such applications. We saw applications lodged around end of 2023 were processed recently, I think 2 months, 3 months back. So I think they are processing applications lodged early 2024. So somewhere around 1.5 year, you may consider that way. Somika is asking, pharmacist 190 visa, 100 points. What are the chances? Look, basically it all depends on which state you have applied for, because I cannot advise you just based on the points and 190 visa category and your occupation that what are your chances, because it is very state specific. Some state governments, they don't sponsor pharmacists at all. Some state governments, they sponsor, but then their requirements vary. For example, one state government, for example, Western Australian state government, they select people based on point score. So yes, your points matter. Some state governments, like Victorian state government, they don't look at your points. They have different factors, parameters based on which they invite people, such as your salary, whether your partner is skilled, how much have you scored in English, how many years of experience you have in the relevant field, whether you're working in the relevant field, what kind of education you have. So multiple factors basically. Tasmanian state government, they have their own ways. They don't select people based on the points. Like ACT, Canberra state government, they have their own metrics, different point system based on which they invite people. So basically, it is all about the state where you have applied. New South Wales, Western Australian state government, Queensland state government, they invite people based on the points. So if you are targeting such states, then yes, your points will help you. However, they also give priority depending on some other factors like New South Wales state government. They also look at your English skills, your education background, and your years of experience in the relevant field. Queensland state government, they are looking at multiple factors. We have noticed they don't publicly say what factors, but then we have noticed that it depends on nationality, depends on your study, where you have studied, what level of study you have, since when are you working, your English score, your points score, but basically points is given higher priority. So that is still good. Western Australian state government, they prioritize based on your location first. So if your location is in Western Australia, if you're located in Western Australia, you are given priority. Your occupation is still a priority, so that is still good. Pharmacists in Western Australia are invited with less than 100 points. That's what we have noticed. So if you are in Western Australia, or if you're somewhere else, if in that state, if you feel your chances of getting an invite are lesser, you may also consider moving to Western Australian state government. Sorry, Western Australian Western Australian state. Johnny is asking accounting future in South Australia or any other state. Johnny, for South Australia, they have received good number of applications from accountants, and it is always the case since last few years that accountants are not invited so easily in South Australia. But yes, South Australian state government look at how many years of experience you have in South Australia, when is your visa expiring, whether you have studied in South Australia, how much have you scored in English, where are you working, depending on the type of company where you're working also. They give priority, your location of work, that is also another factor. But basically, it's not that they are not inviting accountants, but it is a bit tricky because there are so many accountants applying and waiting for an invite. If you are targeting any other state, then it also depends again on whether you're targeting 190 or 491. If you're targeting 190, then if you go and work in Northern Territory or in probably Tasmania, you might have good chance of getting state nomination considering you work in the same field as an accountant. Otherwise, for all other states, basically the chances of getting 190 is much lesser. You'll have to target 491 state nomination, and that too, you'll have to find a job in regional area in those states, and then you might have good possibility of getting an invite. So such states could be regional Victoria, regional New South Wales, even Canberra. If you work in the same field, it could work, but it could take longer. I think Victoria, regional New South Wales could be a better option. Northern Territory, Tasmania is anyway an option for 491. If you have good point score, you may also look at Western Australian state government, but they have been prioritizing occupations such as construction field occupations, teaching occupations, health occupations, and hospitality occupation. So that is a bit tricky for accountants to again get an invite in Western Australia. But other states, I have focused, whatever I have advised, which is regional Victoria and regional New South Wales, Northern Territory, Tasmania could be a good option if you get a relevant job. So you may target accordingly. Rizwan is asking disability support 482 approve हो सकता. Okay, disability support में 482 approve हो सकता है. Yes. So basically there is an occupation called disability support officer. That occupation is eligible for 482 visa. So if your employer is willing to sponsor you under disability support officer, then yes, it is possible considering you have relevant skills. Relevant skills means you require generally diploma level qualification plus at least 1 year of experience on a full-time basis or 2 years part-time experience. If you have that, you can apply for 482. Or if you are looking at age care agreement, then you can apply as a disability support worker occupation as well. So that is still an occupation. That is still an option. If your employer is willing to sponsor you and they are willing to go under MOU, Memorandum of Understanding through labor agreement process, then even disability support worker, lower level occupation, through that occupation also you can apply for 482, which can lead to permanent residency. Malawi is asking, I have 70 points for 491. Any chances? You haven't mentioned about your occupation. You haven't mentioned about your state, so I won't be able to advise you much. But then, as I was saying for some other states, to some other people who have asked questions about state nomination. I think you might get answer that way, that how they decide how they would like to sponsor people. Rose is asking, I already studied diploma and advanced diploma of IT. Unfortunately, I had to go back to my country and I applied temporary visa, but it was refused. I wanna go back to Australia. What is the best visa to apply? TV, I don't know which visa you're referring. Is it visitor visa you're referring? Temporary visitor, temporary visa? I don't know what you're saying. But then if you have studied diploma of IT, advanced diploma of IT, you may probably consider applying for a student visa to study a higher degree if you're looking at studying a higher degree. Otherwise, you may work there for some time and look for skilled visas directly, or you may also look at employer sponsored visas if you gain some experience. At least 1 year is a requirement. If you have studied advanced diploma of IT and you had some telecom subjects, you may be able to get a skills assessment under telecommunication field engineer, sorry, telecommunication technologist occupation. That occupation is in high demand occupation list. So through that also you can apply for permanent residency or pathway to permanent residency regional visas while you are outside of Australia. So you may contact us, you may email us your qualification and we can guide you further. But without any experience, if you'd like to qualify, this is the only option, which is getting a skill assessment through telecommunication occupation, considering you have sufficient subjects. If not, you will have to have few years of experience. Then you may ask for employer sponsored visas. That could be the other way. And the last option is by studying in Australia, applying through student visa. That could be other option. Sunil Shrestha is asking, I have completed a master's in biotechnology and about to finish PhD. What are the possibilities to get PR in Victoria? So basically, if you have studied biotechnology, I think your PhD should be also in something similar field. So if you'd like to qualify, for any applicant to qualify under skilled visa category, there are mainly two options. You can either apply for employer sponsored visa or you can apply for general skilled migration, which is also known as points tested visas. For employer sponsored visa, you will need at least 1 year of experience to qualify for the temporary employer sponsored visa, which is SID, skills in demand visa, for it to visa subclass. If you have 1 year of experience, you can apply for that visa. You can get that visa for up to 4 years, depending on the demand of your employer. And then after working for 2 more years, you can apply for permanent visa under 186 visa category if your employer is willing to sponsor you under that category as well. Or if you already have 3 years of full-time experience as a biotechnologist or the other occupation you can possibly qualify as university lecturer, then also you can apply for permanent visa under 186 straight away, considering you have 3 years of full-time experience. If not, the other visa category is general skilled migration, also known as points tested visas. In this category, there is a must requirement to have a skills assessment. So for skills assessment, you have two occupations based on what you have advised over here. I mean, your study options, you study what you have mentioned. So you can qualify under, again, biotechnologist occupation or a biochemist or university lecturer, basically something similar to what you have studied. All those occupations are assessed by a body called VETASYS. That's the skill assessment body. And skill assessment is a must for GSM visa. So VETASYS, the skill assessment body, they says that they need at least 1 year of experience post qualification. So after your master's, you have to have at least 1 year of experience, worked for at least 20 hours per week on a paid basis as a university lecturer or a biotechnologist, biochemist, whatever it is. Your title does not matter much. Your duties matter. So if your duties are relevant to those kind of occupations, you can apply for a skill assessment through VETASYS, and after that you can look for PR options, which could be 189 skilled independent visa, 190 state sponsored visas, 491 regional visa pathway to PR. Your chances are good because you have a PhD qualification. So state government like Victoria, they also prioritize such applications. But the concern would be probably you'll have to work for 1 year first to get a skills assessment. Even for employer sponsored visa, 1 year of experience is a must to apply for employer sponsored visa. So basically your journey starts from work experience. So if you already have work experience, we can apply for a skill assessment and we can start the process. If you don't have it, your uh, first thing to work on is finding a job, working for 1 year, and then we can look at the options. But otherwise, yes, your chances are good. Having a PhD qualification makes it easier. Venkata is asking, I'm a tax accountant sorry, what are the chances of tax accountant in Victoria or Western Australia? 105 points for 491 and 95 for 190. Chances are good in Victoria for 491, considering you are working in the relevant field in regional Victoria, or if you have a superior English, if you have job in the relevant field does not necessarily mean tax accountant. If you are working as an accountant general, management accountant, taxation accountant, anything like that, it is still fine. And if you have superior English as well, if you have both of this, then chances are very high. If you have any one of this, still chances are very good. If you don't have any one of this, then chances are a bit lesser. It then will depend on what you are doing in regional, what kind of job, what's your salary, whether your partner is skilled, how much have you scored in English, if not superior, how many years of experience you have in the relevant field. So certain factors based on which they will invite. For Western Australian state government, they have been prioritizing certain occupations. So most of the invitation rounds they have conducted in this financial year were, I mean, they have invited people under priority occupations, and accountant was not their priority. I think only one round where they have invited other occupations, I think including accountants. So basically, it all depends on the invitation rounds, how they are going to prioritize in the new financial year. So based on that, you will have a better clarity. You can register and attend our conclave event, which is happening on 12th July. By that time, if you have a clarity on Western Australian state government criteria, so we can probably advise you accordingly. Sayam is saying or asking, hello, what is the possibility for enrolled nurse in regional New South Wales working and living in regional since 1 year? 491 Pathway 1 will continue with same rules in upcoming financial year. Sayam, their program under Pathway 1 is very popular and consistent, so I don't think they will be removing that path. So your chances will be very high as long as you keep living and working in regional New South Wales. So basically, I am very confident that you should get through. Just keep working there and staying there in regional, and eventually you should be invited. Jay Sahan is asking, I'm currently following a mechanical bachelor's at RMIT and want to change my course to some course with high PI chances. Any suggestions? So through mechanical engineering also, you can apply for permanent residency. However, there are a good number of students applying for permanent residency through mechanical engineering, and that's why this occupation becomes a bit competitive. But it's not like you cannot get it. If you can score higher points, then 189 could work. If you cannot score high points, but if you focus on Victorian state government criteria, priority factors, your salary, skill partner, English, years of experience in the relevant field, things like that, you may also target 190. But again, the chances for 190 will be much lesser for you because you are saying you are just doing bachelor. So probably I don't think you are having plans to get married soon. So skill partner option is gone. Salary, just you graduate, I don't think anyone will be offering you high salary. So that is again out of the question. The third thing they look at is your English. Yes, that probably you can work on. Super English, if you have, you get a priority. And then years of experience, again, if you graduate, so it will take at least 1 year of time for you to have that priority of 1 year of experience. And relevant job, if you do, you get priority. So that priority you may get sooner once you get a relevant job. So basically, we have noticed recently that they have been inviting people with minimum of 3 factors out of the 5 factors I mentioned, that is salary, skill partner, English, years of experience in the relevant field, and whether you're working in the relevant field. So out of these 5 factors, we have seen people with 3 factors were invited. Still, some people were not invited even having 3 factors because by that time either they closed the program or already there were other people having higher skills than them. But anyway, you will not have that 3 factors for at least 1 year of time after you are done with your qualification. So basically 190 could be tricky. So you may target 491 regional state nomination through mechanical engineering. Um, Again, if you're saying I'd like to change my course to something else, it all depends on your interest. If you have any particular interest in your mind, I can probably tell you better that what are the chances of you getting permanent residency through that course. If you ask in general what kind of courses are popular nowadays, so the government is saying that they are prioritizing construction occupations. So construction occupations could be civil engineering. So you can probably, if you are interested in that, you may change it to civil engineering from mechanical. The other one is, so in sorry, construction occupation, civil engineer is there, civil trap person, civil technician is there. Apart from that, all the trade occupations such as carpenter, wall floor tiler, bricklayer, roof tiler, painter, such occupations in building construction industry are given priority. Apart from that, welding is also another occupation which is still given priority. So that is still a good occupation, less people qualify, and rewarding career in terms good salary and easy to find jobs because so many employers are looking for such people. So fabrication course through which you qualify as a welder, which is also a good option. Um, Apart from the construction industry, because the government is saying they have, when they are projecting for the next 10 years what occupations will remain in high demand, so construction is one of the sector. They are saying that it is much more in demand and lesser in supply, so most likely they are targeting, they will keep targeting such occupation. So that could be one option. Second option probably could be health sector, which is always high in demand, less in supply. So there is another occupation group, nursing, for example, or probably physiotherapy, if you'd like to qualify as a doctor, which takes more years to qualify. It also costs you a lot and also requires proper attention to studies. But health occupations are given priority as well. Apart from that, teaching occupations are also given priority, such as secondary school teaching, early childcare teacher, also special needs teacher, for an example. So you may also look at studying teaching. Apart from that, trade occupations, as we mentioned, construction occupations are given priority. Fabrication occupations are still given priority unless people qualify, so it still becomes easier. So these are some of the common field what generally students study and apply for permanent residency through such courses. But again, if you have interest in any particular field, you can ask us about that course, and then we can advise you whether you can have better chances through that course or you should consider looking at some other study options. Ganesh is asking, I have completed health economics management and health policy global, having positive skill assessment in life science technician. What are the chances living in Newcastle and moving to Geelong? Okay. If you're moving to Geelong because you have a job in the relevant field, chances are much higher that you get invited for 491. This occupation, as you probably already know, it's only eligible for 190 state nomination and 491 state nomination. For 190 state nomination, the state government, Victoria, we have not seen so many invites under such technician occupations. So basically, your target should be 491. For 491, we have seen people having superior English, which is having scored 8 bands in each of the 4 modules in IELTS academic or general module of the exam, or equivalent score in PT, which is 79 or higher. Or you can also go for TOEFL or Cambridge Advanced English. These are the 4 exams which are acceptable by the government. And also OET is another exam. So 5 exams altogether. But for 491, Victorian state government, we have seen they are prioritizing people having superior English or those people who are working in the relevant field. So if you're having a job in the relevant field in science technician role or relevant to that occupation, then your chance of securing state nomination will be much higher. If not, they also focus on how much you're earning in regional Victoria. You cannot combine multiple jobs. Through any one job, which is a high paid job, you can claim your salary. That is also considering that you are working in a skill level 1, skill level 2, or skill level 3 occupations. Skill level 1 means occupations which are at higher level, such as accountant, IT, doctor, nurses, managers, high level managers are skill level 1 occupations. Skill level 2 means occupations which are at bit lower level, such as managers at a lower level, like restaurant manager, customer service manager, facility managers, or enrolled nurse, community worker, science technician, like your occupation is skill level 2. Skill level 3 means occupations which are trade occupations like carpenter, motor mechanic, welder, cook, plumber. So those are all skill level 3 occupations. So basically, if you're doing any job from such skill level jobs, then you can claim salary. So higher the salary, higher the priority. Other factor they look at is whether your partner is also skilled if you have a partner. And then how many years of experience you have under this occupation, life science technician. That is another factor they look at. So basically, based on such factors, they invite people. But then the priority we have seen so far is people having superior English, or people having a relevant job in regional Victoria were given the priority. So that is what you should target. If you have a job, then I think it should be fine. You should be invited. If you don't have it or you can't get it, then probably you focus on superior English, or you just keep a hope on other factors. If you have other factors, then it might work for you. That is again considering the current financial year's criteria. We don't know about the new financial year, how they are going to put it, place the criteria, but then we can provide you better or deeper understanding once the program is open. Hopefully, if it is open by 12th of July, then we'll be also covering that in our sessions, which is as part of the OSIS Migration Education Conclave happening on 12th of July. So we strongly recommend you to attend that, because we have special, I mean, the superior or senior migration agents will be conducting such sessions, and they will be able to provide you more information considering the previous data as well, considering the previous situations, past experiences. So it will be good experience if you attend that session as well. Another question we got is from Abdullah Khan. Civil engineer, 90 points for 491, not working in the field, currently in Victoria. Should I move to Western Australia? Look, if you ask me, as per the current financial year, yes, moving to Western Australia could work for you. Western Australia, sorry, Victorian state government, we haven't seen they have been prioritizing civil engineers or construction. I mean, there are few construction occupations where they have seen, where we have seen, and they have mentioned that they are going to give priority, like carpenter occupation, then I think wall floor tiler, electricians. So some of the occupation, I think 10 occupations they had, which were priority occupations for Victoria state nomination. So those construction occupations were prioritized, but civil engineers, they did not consider a construction occupation, or they don't consider that as a priority occupation. I don't know what, but then they have not invited so many civil engineers unless their profile was very good. Basically, the factors we have discussed, if those factors someone was having, then those people were invited. So civil engineer with 90 points for 491, chances are a bit lesser, considering you are not working in the relevant field and you don't have a superior English. But if you have one of this, if you get it in Victoria, then yes, you will have good chances. Otherwise, I think Western Australian state government, they have been inviting civil engineers with somewhat similar points. So I think you may consider moving to Western Australia, but I would recommend you to wait until Victorian state government and also Western Australian state government publish their criteria for the new financial year, and then you may make a plan. D is asking, after how long can we lodge temporary visa extension? Was granted TR in May 2022, turning 36 in August 2025. Can we apply in July end? Thank you. So basically, you can apply for 485 visa until you are below 36 years of age. That's the criteria. So if you are 35 years, 11 months, 30 days, until you're not 36, basically, you can apply for the TR visa. Just one thing I'll quickly check. Just give me a second. Yeah, so basically, 35 years old, which includes 35 years of age, plus 11 months, 30 days. So if you're saying you are turning 36 in August, basically you have to apply at that time. I mean, before you turn 36. I think that's end of the questions, and I think we have also taken good amount of time. So if you have any other questions, you can contact any of our nearest branch. We are based in most of the cities, and then we'll be very happy to help you. We just got one more question, so I'll quickly take that. Abu Baker is asking, I have done my master's in cybersecurity and applied for 491 as an engineering technologist on 80 points. Should I have to do my PY in cybersecurity or move to Tasmania? Okay. So basically, if you are saying I would like to do cybersecurity course, sorry, PY professional year program, so that you can get a skill assessment into IT, you can do that way and you can have PR option through that. But if you're saying you are moving to Tasmania because you are getting a job relevant to engineering, then no point doing PY professional year. It actually depends on why you are saying you would like to move to Tasmania. Is it you have something which can make it very easy for you to get an invite for Tasmanian state government, I mean state nomination. If it is, then no need to do PY. But if you don't have anything like that, if you like to keep two options, then you can do PY. But if you're saying I cannot have good points score in IT, then again, I think that's not going to help you. I think engineering technologies should do for you. If you're targeting states like Tasmania, if you're going and working there in engineering, or if you're going studying there for 1 year and things like that, then if you don't do PY, even it is fine. Because generally for engineering technologies and cyber security, the points cutoff is very similar. So if you already have assessment at technologies, no point spending money in PY. However, in case, because we don't know what will be happening in the new financial year, if cybersecurity specialist occupation get an invite with 5 points even lesser than engineering technologies, then it can help you. Or if it is with the same points cutoff, it can still help you because you will have 5 points additional for PY. So you will be having 5 points more, 85 points you will have under IT occupation like cybersecurity, security specialist occupation. So that might still help you. So depends on the situation why you are moving to Tasmania, and whether you would like to have a backup option through IT, then you may consider doing professional year program. But again, if you can clarify about why you are planning to move to Tasmania, we can advise you better. That's the end of the session. As mentioned, we have a conclave event happening on 12th of July. We are going to conduct session on different topics. So we request you and also advise you to attend this event. This is our one of the biggest event we do. It's not one of the biggest, but it's the biggest event we do in the whole year. And we have a lot of free bees as well to give out. Also, there will be some university representatives will be coming. Probably you might also get some idea about some other courses which may be able to help you, which may help you in getting permanent residency in Australia. So if again you have any queries regarding how to register for the event, or if you need more information, you can visit our website, or you can again reach out to any of our office, and we will provide further information to that. Got one more question. Amandeep Shah is asking which state is good for hairdresser. Tasmanian state government is good. Canberra state government, regional New South Wales, regional Victoria if you're targeting 491, Northern Territory. These states are good for hairdresser. South Australia might also work out for you, but then other states, what I have advised, that could be a better option for hairdresser. You should do a job ready program, or you should work there. Chances will be very high that you get it. At least 190, at least 491, if not 190. Hassan is asking, what is the future for ECT? I think the future is very good. If you probably just Google about early childhood teacher shortage in Australia, you will probably see so many articles which are published recently by well-known employment agencies, or probably also the government campus. If you have noticed, the government is, saying that, okay, we have much higher shortage of teachers, early childhood teachers. And that's what I think that demand will keep going on for some time. It cannot be met easily with just the number of students who are enrolling. I know so many students are enrolling, but not every university or not every state government, if you see, they don't have so many colleges offering that courses. It's mainly in Victoria and probably New South Wales, you might see colleges are offering such courses. In other states, very limited colleges might be offering such courses. So still, it's easier if you cannot get PR in Victoria or New South Wales, because it's competitive. It may become very competitive. But then if you target regional Victoria, regional New South Wales, or any other state, probably Tasmania, Western Australia, South Australia, any other state, then it should still be easier for you to get PR, because in such states, they don't have such institutes offering early childhood teaching education. Amardeep Benz is asking, got 491 invitation for New South Wales. Should I wait for 190 or go with 491? 85 points for 190 community worker. If you'd like to wait, you may wait. But the program for 190 is already closed for New South Wales for this year. So if you're losing this invite, you don't know whether you'll be invited again and when you'll be invited again in the new financial year. So it could become a bit tricky. So you should better take 491 for New South Wales for now. And ultimately, if you'd like to, during the process, if you'd like to try for some other state for 190, that is what you may try for. That could be another option you may look at. But once New South Wales state government invite you, they will not invite you again for different visa category. So you have to decide now whether you like to take 491 or you let it go. But once they invite you finally to apply for visa, then you will not be invited again by the same state government, which is New South Wales. Hassan is asking how many points are safe for foreign in Victoria. They don't look at the points. If you have a job in the relevant field or if you have superior English, high chances that you get it. Herman is asking what are the chances of IT in Western Australia? Any hope for the next financial year? Honestly, I don't know much for the next financial year, but considering the last year, I mean, the current year's program, they have invited IT occupations only in one invitation round where the cutoff was again much higher. If you are having much higher point score, then you may consider waiting, or I recommend you to wait until the new financial year program is announced, and then you may decide whether you like to keep waiting there or you like to move out and try some other state. That's end of the session. It's 6 p.m. now. Again, any questions you have, feel free to contact any of our nearest branch and we'll be happy to answer your queries. Thank you. It was great having your questions, and I'm feeling glad that I'm able to help you somehow. Thank you.